Hey guys, it's Brian and Keem, and today I'm giving you guys another review for The Last of Us. This is going to be my episode 3 review of season 1. And sadly, this episode, in my opinion, was the worst episode. There was some good, but there was a lot of bad. So, starting off, we get the intro, and then we have Joel, his hand in the water, and he is like setting up a bunch of rocks. He's taking rocks from the creek, and he's making this kind of fake tombstone kind of thing for Tess, because Tess just died. And then we see 10 miles west of Boston, so it's like, oh, okay, they give us an idea of where we are. And man, it looks great. So then we see Joel walks, and he comes across Ellie, and I guess they stay the night there. They talk about moving forward, that they need to make it to get some more supplies from this stash area he has. And then Ellie goes with him. And they are, they have a big hike, 5-6 hours. We see this cool bridge shot with, this bridge. I'm surprised it's still standing 20 years in the apocalypse. But so after that, we have Ellie, and she kind of tries asking Joel for a gun because, he's got 2 guns on him, and he says no way. And then they come by like Cumberland Farms or something, this place where Joel said they'd be, they'd, stash some supplies. So they come across this empty store kind of thing. And they're gonna look around and look for some supplies and stuff. And Ellie finds this door underneath. Also, Joel hides his gun. I'm not sure why, because if they're going to Bill's, then they can get more ammo for his gun. But yeah, Ellie goes underneath the floorboard and the secret spot, and then she comes across some tampons on a shelf, so she takes those, which is interesting because I don't think that was a thing that was brought in the game. With Ellie and her maturity. And then she sees a infected. She sees a clicker underneath, buried under like 1,000 pounds of rubble, and it's just like not moving. It's growling at her, and she takes her knife and she kind of like tortures it, just like cuts in the face, and doesn't even like really make any screams, nothing. And Ellie's probably thinking like she hopes like she doesn't become one of these things, but then she stabs in the head, killing it. And the way the zombie's head is just like, it looks like like white stuff underneath, like it's just like, it looks like spider webs in it, like, what I mean? It's just it's the fungus, it's just like there's no blood really, or like very little blood or brain matter. It's just fungus. So after that, we get Ellie looking at the plane that crashed, it's kind of, she asks about planes and stuff, and then she asks about how the apocalypse started, and Joel kind of mentions how it probably started in this wheat factory, because he mentions like flour and wheat and stuff. People ate too much. Somehow the fungus must have got in there, and it kind of widespread around the world. Different companies, this and that. That's probably how it started, which is kind of interesting. That's kind of a thing that was never brought up in the games. And, Joel mentions how, he doesn't want her to see a certain thing, but Ellie goes down the road anyway, and she sees this horrible sight. She sees bones everywhere, and she sees that, there, baby clothes, baby skulls, and it's just like, yeah. And then we get a flashback to 20 years ago. And when I saw this, guys, my heart broke. Seeing this poor woman and her child, that their dead body, their skeletons 20 years later are there, and just like seeing this flashback, my heart was broken. I'm like, oh man, that's just sad. Bill is watching on, cameras and stuff, and, he's not being sent away because the military can't find him, I guess. But, we like, this is a thing that happened in Extinction. People were being sent to a fake relocation facility, but it's like, it's just so sad. It's so tragic, and I hope that poor woman and her baby are in heaven, because that's just sad and tragic. Man, F Fetra, man, like seriously, that's just heartless. So after that, we have Bill. He starts scavenging supplies. He actually goes to a Home Depot too, which is just kind of crazy. That they had that product placement. He goes. He's all by himself now, which is, it makes the military in Petra just look so stupid. Like, not Petra, sorry, Fetra. It makes them look stupid because, like, they literally left this safe zone and power and all this stuff. Like why leave it? Just idiots. So anyway, Bill is cooking and stuff. He's doing his own thing. He's by himself. He's just getting supplies and eating by himself. He's very anti-social kind of guy, but even now, like, there's no one around him, and it's kind of crazy. And then he watches the camera. There's an infected, a clicker that gets shot in the head. He's watching it on the cameras, and then we see 4 years later, so it's now 2007, and Bill is still living by himself in the town. and he finds out one of his sensors went off, and he checks one of the traps, and it turns out that someone, not a clicker, but somebody fell in it. And here we get to meet Frank, and I knew this was Frank. I didn't expect him to be so old though. Like, how old is this guy? Anyway, Bill tests him to see if he's infected, but he's clean. And Frank kind of comes out, and he asks for Bill's help, but he says, like, you should turn around, this and that. And Frank asks for some help. He's hungry, he hasn't eaten, and he promises not to tell anyone about Bill and his place here. And after that, Bill gives him a chance. He makes some food for him and stuff. And Frank is very grateful and all that. And they're, I guess, eating by themselves. And Bill is very obviously antisocial. And then another thing is that Frank sees piano. He tries playing it, but I guess he's not really good at it. And then but yeah, it's like they played the song of the episode, from this woman. I don't remember her name, but yeah, anyway, Bill plays the song, and he's actually really good. And then we get the romance, or I guess between Bill and Frank. Now, listen, it's forced. This is one of the problems I had with the episode. Like, they literally just ate some food, and boom, they kiss. Like what is? I'm sorry, but this is not how you do relationships. I get it. Bill is implied to be gay, or in the games, but this is one of the problems I had with the episode. There's a lot of drama between Bill and Frank's relationship, and there's a lot of screen time for the relationship, and I don't approve of that, because this is not Last of Us. I didn't pay to see their relationship drama. It's just not, that's not what I want, So anyways, after that, Frank and Bill are arguing. We find out that that Frank actually invited Tess and Joel over, and it's kind of crazy. We get to see Joel. This was 13 years ago, which is just kind of crazy. They do the effects so good, and Tess was here too. It's nice to see Tess. I thought we were going to see Sarah, but I'm guessing we're never going to see Sarah in a flashback again. We then get another time skip, maybe another 3 years, and we see a bunch of cars on the fence. Not sure how that works. By the way, Joel mentioned to Bill how it's not going to hold up. Eventually, raiders will come and try to take this place, which ends up almost happening. You have Frank and Bill jogging, and then Frank had a strawberry patch made with the help of Tess. She got some seeds for him, and they are growing strawberries now, which is kind of crazy. 10 years in, and it's like, now you have strawberry seeds. I don't know. But anyways, so it eventually happens. Raiders come in during a rainstorm in the night, but this awesome flamethrower trap just sets them on fire. It's like crazy. Like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. So Frank comes outside. He hears the explosions, the fire, and the shouting and shooting, and he comes outside, and there's the raiders. And I'm not sure, why they're going on that way. Like, shouldn't there be more raiders? And, why is that the front or the back? I don't know. But, Bill gets shot, and, Frank helps him inside. Not sure why Bill was out in the open like that. He should have been behind cover. So anyway, Frank brings him inside the house because, he's been shot. The raiders are not really going to be a problem because Bill said the traps will take care of him. So Frank lays Bill down to deal with his bullet wound. And, Bill kind of mentions to Frank how, he'll be okay when he's gone, kind of thing. Like, if he doesn't make it, and, Frank, make sure he does make it. So Bill passes out, and then we get a 10-year time skip. Now, this is so weird. Like, Frank is now in a wheelchair, and Bill and Frank are now super old. And I'm just like, wait, what? So now Bill doesn't even look like his game counterpart. I don't know. And once again, it's like these two guys are still together 20 years in the apocalypse, and it's just, I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's like, I don't know. Bill's town in the games was so cool, traps everywhere, but here in the show it's a lot of relationship stuff, and it's like I don't like it. It's not interesting to me. And anyways, Frank gets up during the night, and he says that he wants to die today. He wants one more good day, kind of thing. He's sick and tired of being sick. Like, he just wants to go and be at peace, kind of thing. And we have Frank and Bill they kind of do a marriage thing, but that there's nobody there, so I don't believe it's official. And also they've been together this whole time and never did. I don't know. It's just like I said. It's just I don't need to see all of this, because like Frank, we know he's gonna die, but Bill, which ends up happening, by the way, I just don't approve of it, because I'm like, wait a minute, you're killing off Bill, whose character's still alive in the games. Like, I don't understand it. This feels like a complete change from the games, and I don't approve of it. I get it, you want to show a relationship and stuff, but not like this. I don't know. So anyway, Frank takes too many pills in his drink, which is what he wanted, but Bill takes some too. And like I said, yeah, Bill just dies off screen. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is how he dies? So Joel and Ellie, they come to the place, they set the code, and they come inside, and it's empty. It's been probably a few days since Bill and Frank died. Not sure what's gonna happen to the chickens, because I'm pretty sure they established that Bill has a chicken farm, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that. But yeah, so Ellie is reading the note, and it mentions Tess. Bill says to take, for Joel, if he finds this, to take whatever he needs. He mentions the code, and Joel goes outside, he reads the note, and he's kind of sad because he kind of lost another friend. But yeah, anyway, he finds the truck, which was part of the game actually, but still, it's just weird they're doing it like this. So Joel goes into the refrigerator and finds the battery, but it needs a charge, kind of thing. So they have about 1 hour to kill. So they go down into the bunker, which is still in great condition. Like, seriously, like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So Ellie brings up the guns because there's a whole wall of them, and she asks for one, and Joel's like, no. And I was with Ellie on this. I'm like, there's a whole wall of them. Are you going to carry them all yourself, Joel? Like, you guys need to take as much as possible. So yeah, Ellie takes a shower, and she's goofing off. She gets a new shirt, just like in the games. She gets her game accurate shirt, and she finds a gun in a drawer, and she takes it. Joel also takes a shower, and they get ready. They have stuff packed up, but we didn't really see what they packed, exactly. So I'm kind of curious to see in episode 4, like, what they show as far as that, like how much stuff they have. So yeah, then Ellie finds the tape, which has the Linda Rod stance, like the music. So she wrote the song that Bill was playing earlier in the episode on the piano, and she's the woman that sings at the end credits of this episode. So, yeah, it's like, okay, Joel's okay with it. He kind of likes it, and Ellie's like, well, it's better than nothing. And, they listen to the song, they just drive off, and then it pans over to the window where, where I presume Bill and Frank die next to each other, because remember, they both took a lot of drugs in their wine, to die together, kind of thing, because, they're a couple. So yeah, guys, like I said, me personally, there were some things I liked in this episode. I liked Ellie and Joel stuff a lot more. Like, this is the best Ellie and Joel stuff we got. It's really good. I love the gut punch of, like, the flashbacks, like the whole pregnant woman, I'm sorry, the woman and her baby thing. That was a gut punch. I'm like, oh man, like, I didn't even see it. Like, just seeing the bones and then seeing them alive 20 years ago, it's just, my heart broke for that, honestly. But like I said, guys, okay, so on to the negatives. This episode felt cheap and fillerish. It didn't have really any action. They did too many time skips. Bill's town was also nowhere near as interesting or as cool as the games. They also focused way too much on Bill and Frank's relationship, and I get it. Maybe, some people want to see, two old guys kissing, but I'm not one of them. I did not pay HBO Max to watch that. I paid for The Last of Us. I paid for Joel, Ellie, and see clickers, action, this and that. And like I said, I just think they focused way too much on the relationship in this. Like, the whole episode was about the relationship, and they end up dying in the end. Like, we don't, so it's like, to me, it feels kind of pointless. It kind of feels like it didn't matter in a way. Like, Joel and Ellie get some supplies, and it's like, yeah, but do we really need to see all that stuff in between? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just, this episode, I feel like they could have just done a lot of things better. Especially with Bill's backstory and, just the 20 years of him living in a town. Like, I just feel like they could have had a lot more interesting stuff happening in the 20 years of the apocalypse than just him and Frank together. Because, yeah, like I said, it's just, this is The Last of Us, not, the two last gay men on Earth having the best, life ever. Like, this is not The Last of Us, you know what I mean? I don't know, it doesn't feel like it to me. It kind of feels like they were trying to send a message or something, and I don't want that. Like, I want to see action and great acting, great characters, and my time not being wasted. So yeah, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for my review. Let me know what you thought of this episode down below in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Hopefully episode 4 is better, which I think it will be. Alright guys, until then, take care. Bye.